why are we doing this? Why are we doing these shows? Why are we building Wefranch? So at least I'll say why I'm doing it and partly why Miriam is doing it. So originally I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. So I grew up in the poor parts of Lagos, Nigeria, and basically in the inland. And then I was good at taking tests. So when I was 10 years old, I went to a rich school in Nigeria, like the richest boarding school. And then, so there's no middle class in Nigeria. So that's basically the difference between, in my mind, the main difference in New York and Nigeria. There's no middle class. So it changes everything. Like basically, if you're poor, you never get to meet rich people. Anyway, but in school, I met them. And then, so eventually you learn about their parents and how they make money. They do some business, some specialized business. And you're pretty young. And then you go back home, and my parents, they start businesses, their friends start businesses. Some of them hawk goods all day, and they fail. Like I study with candles. We don't have electricity. We don't have running water. Anyway, I'm good, continue to be good at taking tests. And then eventually I end up in Princeton, and it's like more of the same. And then eventually I end up working at Goldman. And you will think, working at Goldman, you think like I won't fit, but that was the one place where like these people get it. That's the honest truth. So this was during the global current. So I graduated in 2008. So this was like everybody hated Goldman. And Lloyd Blankfein said we're doing God's work. We get people with great ideas that work in the real world. So everybody has ideas and fantasies, but some things work in the real world, like the world, the universe. Think of whether it's God or the universe, things that as they are. Some things work where you're able to pay employees, you're able to get returns for your investors, and consumers are willing to pay you. All those three things are extremely hard. When you're doing a startup, it's like you're being pulled apart by horses. Like you gotta pay your employees and they gotta be happy. It's just reality. Consumers, they want the best product, but you gotta get them to pay you. And finally you gotta try and make some money. Anyway, so Goldman, they're obsessed about understanding businesses like that work. And then I really love doing that. And eventually I founded a startup called ThinkNum, where we scroll data from the web. Because the special thing about right now with the internet is there's a lot of data on the web where you can understand which businesses are doing well and which ones are not. So if you think of like 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, this data did not exist. Like you won't know if you're in Nigeria, you just have no idea. Like, people used to count sheep and, cattle in Egypt so they could be taxed. Now you can have granular detail in food delivery, what brands are being ordered or not. So we're very excited about it. Anyway, and now we think with franchising, it's a beautiful way where someone with a means of production that works can share it with someone else that will also be an owner. So that is what we're trying to make happen. So you don't have to invent something from scratch. You don't have to just try things that just don't work, but you can actually partner with someone with something that works, and they'll share the exact recipes. Their incentives are aligned with you to grow. So it can be beautiful. It doesn't mean every franchise is great. You have to use data to find the right ones. So that is what we're trying to do on the internet, and that is what this event is an activation for.